Hey guys, this is Justin,
And Joy.
and we got another great episode in store for you today.
We're going to be talking about the hot topic that parents are talking about today.
When to give your kids a cell phone and when to give them access to social media. We're going to share our experience with you on raising 4 kids. Guys, make sure you tune in. Don't miss this one.
It's real, raw, and uncut. Like there is no sugarcoating. We're real about it. If you're real people, message us. Real, raw, and uncut.
Hey guys, this is Justin,
And Joy.
and we have another great episode in store for you today. Hope you've been doing great since the last episode. If you're loving the show, do us a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And if you're really loving the show, go ahead and leave us a review. If you haven't followed me yet on social media, you can at the official Justin Ford. You can also find Joy on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, X, and also here on YouTube. We got another great episode in store for you today. But before we get into that, we do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is a team of professionals that believe everyone should be treated as if they live next door. The founders and team members have more than 150 years of combined loan experience, helping clients all over the country choose the best loan program to help you accomplish your goals. Next Door Lending is currently licensed in over 26 states and has a team of over 100 loan officers specializing in helping you get the best rate and terms. And so whether you're looking to refinance your home or you're looking to purchase your next home, call our friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. Yeah.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome with
Welcome.
Welcome with no headsets on now. We're changing it up.
Yes. We were recently made aware that about 80% of podcasts do not even use headphones.
Thank God, because I was never wearing earrings. Well, now I can put some on.
Yeah.
I like actually wear them. I feel really naked without them, but
Yeah.
it was a thing. I'm like, could I wear earrings today? No, I can never wear earrings. But
Yeah.
now I can.
I don't have that problem, but
Yeah.
at the
But you
end
could,
of the
because you
day,
still have holes in your ears.
well, that was from like 20 years ago when I was
Anybody didn't know that he's got
30 years
holes in
ago.
it. I
No.
literally would put earrings on him, just messing
I
around
was like
with him
16.
once in a while.
I was like 16, so it's been a long time, almost 30 years
You
ago.
had both. You have both of them.
2 in this one and 1 in this one.
Two in the
Two.
left.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. What's the thing back then?
Well, no, that just means you were meant to marry a left-hander.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Left-handed.
But we're not here to talk to you about
Anyways.
getting your ears pierced. We're actually here about a topic that we always hear about. You know, obviously we're parenting older kids, but we also have a teenager, and so we've been through some things. And one of the big topics,
And our older kids were once teenagers.
yes, they
We've been
were
through a lot.
and one of the things that we're going to talk about today is really phones and social media. You know, I think it's a big discussion on when parents feel like they should be giving their kids a cell phone and also giving them access to social media. And it's interesting because our kids, I think it was, because
Angelina, when it started with her.
yeah, it started with Angelina, but
obviously.
like, it's interesting because we're living in a time where social media and smartphones, there's a before and after.
Right.
Our generation remembers a time before social media and cell phones where we didn't have that. So we didn't
Right.
grow up with, a phone in our hand. We weren't always scrolling. We weren't on social media. But then I think it was in 2000, early 2000s when MySpace came out. That was the first social media platform.
Oh, I forgot about
But there
that.
wasn't,
Yeah.
that was on a computer because there wasn't.
We didn't have phones
they
to
didn't
go
have
on to download
smartphones.
apps
Yep,
to go on
nope.
the MySpace. You had to be home.
Yep. And then the smartphone came out, right? The iPhone came out, smartphones came
Like
out.
it was so long ago.
I know, it's crazy. And then from there, Facebook came out. Facebook was 2006, so it's been 20 years already. To think that Facebook's been
Wow.
around that long, it's crazy. And then obviously Instagram and Snapchat and all these other ones came out. Well, today's generation, so like all of our kids and anybody that's born, after our kids only know smartphones and technology. And it's a big question today. Like, when should I give my kid a cell phone and when should they have access to social media? And it's
Yep.
different for everybody.
It's different for everybody, but for myself as a parent, I feel like 7, 8, 9 is way too young.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, honestly, I think we've talked about this before, is like the only real reason to give our kids a cell phone when they're a teenager or like junior high-ish is to contact them. They're in sports. I don't like depending on another parent to let me know if it's done early, or one of his friends to text me that they have a phone that can text me and saying, hey, we finished early. Mrs. Ford, can Judah's ready to be picked up. I didn't want to feel like my kids were restricted from contacting us if there was an emergency.
Yeah.
But we still waited.
Yeah. And I mean, again, so for us, it was
Junior high.
We've been through now 4 kids that are, teenage and beyond. It started with Angelina. I think she was 12.
She was younger. It was a different situation.
And we gave her one of these phones. I think it was called the
Metro or something.
Kajit or Kit, whatever. It was
Kajit?
a phone.
Oh, yeah, it was Kajit.
It was a phone that was like a phone specifically for just making phone calls.
Yeah, it was just
and Angelina was
emergency
so
phone.
upset when we got her this phone.
I thought she was excited to have a phone.
No, because it didn't have, like, you
But
couldn't
it
go on
wasn't
the
that big.
internet.
I
You
didn't
couldn't
know
go on social media.
Yeah.
It was like all her friends had a regular phone, and she had this like parent. It was like a parent advised phone or something where we controlled, what she could do, who she could call, all of these things.
It was literally for phone calls, to just emergency calls. That's really the reason why we got that one for her at a younger age.
Yep.
Because it was a different situation.
Yeah. And, and I remember there was a period of time where she got her phone taken away for whatever reason. And then we found out, like, then kids in high school or whatever, it was probably high school because she had access to it in high school, like giving burner phones out. Like, you could get just a burner phone.
If like you didn't have a phone, or if you lost one, or your parents took it away, students had other phones you could use and pass around in the public at Plymouth High School. They're like, oh, you don't have a phone? Here you go. Here's a phone you can use while you're. It's like, this is just craziness.
Yeah, just different ways to kind of like
go
around and beat the system. But what we also realized was this. I think, at least for me, I was way more controlling with Angelina just because
she was the first.
She came, from a different relationship with different lady when I was young. Got custody of her, and I think I was really doing everything I could to prevent her from making poor decisions. The reality is, kids are going to make decisions whether you give them a phone or not. They're going to find access to whatever they want. Everything's out there. And so learning through Angelina, then Emilio, Emilio, had access to I don't remember when Emilio got a phone. Junior high. But then, we're like, we don't want him to be exposed to like porn and stuff. And he's at the park with like 10 years old with
these other kids
who have a phone,
phones and could
looking
see
at porn on their phone.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean,
you don't know.
And these are the things that all us parents want to protect our kids from. But the reality is they're going to be exposed to things.
They are.
They're going to be exposed to things. And it's, you can be the crazy parent, which I've been at some point.
We were.
Right. Where you just try to control everything. Like, no, you can't have access to this. You can't look. And you know what? It's going to happen, right? Like, it's going to happen. So what we've learned through now Judah being 13 is to teach them about the reason why looking at specific things is not the right thing to do, even if he is exposed to something, or even if,
accidentally,
or even if he intentionally tries to look at something that, there's an open line of communication that he has for us. He's not feeling like we're just trying to put a clamp on him like we did with some of our other kids, but just helping him to understand the why, right? Of not doing specific things. And even with Judah, he's 13, but I think for Christmas, right before he was 13, we got him a phone because he had like access to an iPhone that wasn't connected to a plan.
It was Wi-Fi only.
Yeah.
So he did have that.
Yeah, he could connect to Wi-Fi and
call us.
But what we found is like, if he's at practice or if he's after school, like there was no way
sometimes it wouldn't work
to call us. And I know that like when, you have a kid and they're doing different things, especially with like all these school shootings and all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, like you want your kid to be able to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And so we gave Judah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, we got Judah a phone when he was right before he turned 13, and he's done really well with it.
It also comes with a maturity level too.
Right. Yeah.
Judah's pretty mature, very mature.
Yeah.
And it was like, and he started the little card business. So it was kind of like in the same time together as feeling like he was okay to have one.
Yeah. So we want to talk about really the top 5 reasons, we really kind of waited to get our kids
I
phones.
feel like we waited.
Yeah, we
The
didn't
most
like give them
parents.
one at 7 or 8 or 9. Like some 8 or 9-year-olds have phones.
Yeah,
And
some
that's
they do,
again,
and
we're not
that's
here to judge anybody or make
yeah.
anybody feel a certain way because it's going to be your decision as a parent, as parents, as a household, to make that decision. So you kind of just threw this out there. So what's
Mhm.
number one?
Well, the first one is maturity over age.
Yep.
We didn't give our kids, phones because we wanted to control. It was just like each child was different maturity wise.
Yeah.
And so we gave them phones. Like I think Tiara got one in junior high as well.
Yep.
And we didn't
she
give
was very
her, we didn't give her
mature.
TikTok. We didn't give her a lot of the apps. She wasn't allowed to download.
Yeah, she wasn't allowed to have social media
She wasn't allowed
platform
to
or
have
anything.
Instagram. Like it was
Yeah.
to message her friends, and we were able to see everything, and we had like locks on things. And so,
And she was super mature. Like we never, with her, we never, I don't think worried about her making poor decisions or, doing dumb things because she was very mature. And even Emilio, when he got access to a phone, it was probably like 13, 14 as well. And
and having them realize it's a privilege, not a right to have one. Like just because you're 7 or 8 years old and all your friends have one doesn't mean you need to have one.
Yeah.
We really instilled that in our kids is like, they're like, oh, they started getting a phone. And like, I don't care what anybody's doing. This is what we're doing in our house.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why we're doing this. And all your friends can have all those other things. And that's great for them. But Dad and I we do things a little different. And we just conversate and talk about the reasons why. Because they start to feel like they're losing out if they start seeing friends get phones.
That's the
and
other thing
everybody,
too, is
the
they
last
look at
one.
they look at what their kids are doing or what their friends are doing. And then their parents, like, they look at like, why are you, controlling me? Why are you,
and
not
what's
trusting
really
me?
nice. And another thing I noticed is like, even with Judah, especially with Judah, is his best friend's family. Like we're pretty tight, and she's got older kids as well, like us, and we're kind of on the same page with phones. So it's like, she's like, did you get like? She was like, we knew our boys were like the last 2 boys to get phones, and I was fine because I was like, if you're going to Gabe's, like he doesn't have a phone, you don't have a phone. You guys are most likely outside of at the park and doing outdoor things, not sitting on your phone. And so I always felt comfortable with him going there, and I'm sure she was comfortable with him with her son coming to our house because they were not phone junkies. Like they knew they both didn't have phones, and they could hang out and play basketball and like whatever,
And then number 2 is phones were for communication first. So that's obviously, why we got our kids phones, was to be able to communicate with them, not to just give them access to everything. And there's some great apps out there. If you're a parent, you give your kid, a cell phone. Covenant Eyes is a great app that tracks, everything that goes on a phone to be able to prevent, like if your kid's trying to look at stuff or stumbles upon some stuff, it can block certain things, but it also gives you a daily report on what they're doing. What's number 3, Joy?
Number 3 is healthy boundaries create healthy habits. So one of the things we did with our kids when they were younger, we're not younger, but when they first got their phone, they probably couldn't stand us for it, but we didn't care. Was like you turn your phone in our room by a certain time, and it's in our room. They plug it in, and they don't get it until.
Yeah, and they don't get it at night. They didn't get to keep their phone in their room with them at night. That was definitely something we did with Angelina, Emilio, Tiara, and now even Judah. Judah has to put his phone on the charger in our room every night. And then I think when it changed, and I was thinking about this, was when our kids got jobs. So like Angelina, when she turned 16, she was in 10th grade. She got a job. She started paying for her own cell phone bill, right? Or what it was? No, it was, we were paying for half. I think it was half.
Yeah, it was like half. Like, yeah, if they were
Half their
going,
cell phone bill?
if they decided to do the job, if they decided to do a job during high school
And they were
or
making
sports
money.
in high school, it was just different scenarios.
Well, no,
So if
it's
they were,
all of them. All 3. Well, Emilio and Tiara, I'm sorry, Emilio and Angelina both started working. And so at 16, they had to pay half of their cell phone bill.
Oh yeah, that's what half. Okay.
But then when they graduated and turned 18, they were responsible to get their actual phone on their own plan to help them learn responsibility and build their own credit and pay their own bill. They were responsible for that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was just sitting here thinking, Tiara's 19, and even though she's in college,
Yeah, she's in
we haven't done that yet. And
Yeah,
Tiara
we
does
haven't
make
done
money,
that.
so she needs to at least start paying half.
I know, at least half. You're right.
At least half. Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. So again, having boundaries, making sure your kids are turning in their phones. And here's the other thing I would say. Don't assume because your kid's a good kid or you just, Johnny would never do that or Susie would never do that. Don't assume. Like there were times where I would be like around the kids and I'd say, give me your cell phone. Like not even saying, hey, I want to look at your cell phone later. Like give me your cell phone and then go through their history, see what they're looking at. who are they following? What type of
Mhm.
music's on their phone? Like being able to just kind of like know what's going on
Yeah.
because you never know. And I think it's important for us to know and kind of like
And
surprise
you're
them. Give
allowed
me
to
your
know. You're
phone.
paying the bill, and
Well, but I mean,
we're the parents.
yes, but they might sometimes feel it's like a violation of their privacy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But the other thing too is like, let's say your kid's being bullied, you
Oh,
know,
yes, that's
on social
huge.
media or
Yeah,
on
and
their
you don't
phone,
know what's going on.
or if they are the bully, like you'd
Yeah.
want to know those things. And
Yes.
again, I think it's easy
I didn't even
sometimes
think
for
about
us
it
to
that
just
way, but
sit
yeah,
there
and think
and
that
just
everything's
assume
okay.
everything's like good,
Mhm.
there's no issues, but it's our
Mhm.
job to be intentional about checking in on those things.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's so good. I
Yep.
didn't think about that. I
That's
forget
why you
about
got me,
that.
baby.
Yeah. Thank God for you.
Number 4, social media is here to stay. So we want to teach, not fear it. So Judah's had access to Instagram. And one of the reasons why is because I've talked about it on the show before. We started a card business, and Judah is selling cards now on Instagram. And he's connected to all these, other people in the industry through Instagram. But I also have noticed.
And you also have it's a shared account, so you have access to it too.
Yeah, I have access to all the, yes,
You have
I'm
access
the
to the
admin
account.
of
You're the
yeah.
admin. There you go.
But at the same time, I also know that Judah, when you're on Instagram, you're scrolling through videos are popping up.
Mhm.
And, part of me with Judah is not trying to so much control him, but just to educate him,
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
But I also know too, and I've seen this with him, and this is something even as adults, if we struggle on our phone as far as scrolling and being on there and being, how much more kids, right? How much more
Yeah.
kids? And these phones and these social media apps are designed to keep our attention.
I
And it's an
know.
addiction. It really is.
It
And
really
we
is
all
an
have to admit
addiction.
it
Yeah.
that
And we
we
all
all
struggle with it.
struggle with it. And I think some of the other things that we can do
Put
is
phones away at dinner time.
put phones
That should be
away,
a
but not only that,
non-negotiable.
you can actually put like restrictions
Oh
on
yeah,
there.
turn the
Like
phone
how
off at a
many,
certain time.
yeah, how many hours? Oh, after you go past 2 hours, you can't be on social media anymore.
Yeah, and actually it was funny because we were in Puerto Rico during spring break, and Judah, he had like a notification on Instagram because he was selling a lot of cards, whatever. So I wanted him to be listening to the guy in the room that was speaking, and he turned his Instagram. I think he had like a certain amount of time he can be on it for the day. And I saw him go back on Instagram, and he was going to be going past the time that he put on there. I forget what he did,
Yeah.
and then he got out of there and then went out of the room and did like 5 or 10 push-ups. I'm like, well, what are you doing? He goes, I went past the time that I was allowed. So my thing with myself was I have to go do push-ups. I'm like, oh, wow. Like
Yeah.
you did that for yourself? Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I was like really happy about that. I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you can set different boundaries
Yeah.
and different things.
Timing or
Yeah.
whatever, to
Timing
be
and
on it.
stuff, when it comes to the social media. And again, we know that every parent it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be different for every parent, but just know that social media isn't going anywhere, and you and your spouse, or you, if you're just single, have to
Put some
make that decision.
boundaries.
You have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And then
set healthy
number
boundaries.
5.
Number 5 is every child is different, but our values stay the same.
Yep.
Well, just our expectations, rules, and accountability never changed from child to child, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Meaning we didn't let one keep their phone in their room
yeah.
at night. We really have taught our kids, that it is a privilege to have a phone,
Mhm.
that there's obviously dangerous things that are on the phone. But also too, and I think this is another thing, is they have to develop their own convictions, their own, convictions of what's right and what's wrong to them, especially when they get older, because we can't control that. Our job is to guide them as they become teenagers and they're moving into, adulthood. We can't, put chains on them and do everything we can to keep them and prevent them from certain things. We need to walk with them and guide them and trust them. That's the big thing.
Trusting them,
Yeah.
yeah. And another big thing we do, even like my son's friends' parents, and I probably should remind one of the other moms, but if we have a couple boys that spend the night, like I let the boys know, like, hey guys, phones are being
Put
put
on the
downstairs
counter,
on the counter, charge them down there.
Yep.
Like 10 p.m., you got to put them downstairs because I'm not having my house be the house where the boys are on their phones at night and somebody doesn't have security on their phone and I don't know it and something popped up and just, I'm not going to be the parent that's going to get the phone call and say, hey, this happened at your house. Like
Right.
I would rather not. So anybody that comes to my house and spends the night, those boys know our rule. And I'm not afraid to let the parents know, and those boys know, they respect it.
Yeah.
And so just setting guidelines even like that is like, last thing you want is a bunch of kids over and they're all sitting on their phones, like staring at their phones. Like, no, you're here to socialize and have a good time, play basketball, go out for a run, go do whatever. Like, so yeah.
And that's important. And again, but also too, if they see us doing it as parents, they're going to just follow.
They follow. Yeah. They mimic what we do.
So if your kids are doing things that you don't like, ask yourself this question: are they doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because you're the example that they're looking at. And so if you're always on your phone, they're probably always going to be on their phone as well. So, so that's it. We wanted to talk about the topic that, you know, a lot of parents are talking about, thinking about. We know that there's parents, you know, if you're listening to this, maybe your kids are already older. We'd love to hear, what did you do to help your kids with cell phones and technology and social media? And maybe you're a younger parent and these are real things you're thinking about and talking about. You know, we just shared what we've done, but you got to come up with some decisions and some things that work best for you and your family. And so, so feel free to share this episode with somebody if you feel like it can encourage somebody. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet to the podcast, feel free to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or right here on YouTube. And we'd love to hear back from you as well. Before we wrap up today, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is not just a sponsor of the show. They are our official mortgage partner with the Justin Ford Real Estate team. We entrust all of our buyers with Next Door Lending. And so if you are looking to purchase a home this year and you want to get pre-approved, call our friends over at Next Door Lending. If you are an existing homeowner looking to refinance, maybe take some cash out, lower your interest rate, call our friends over at Next Door Lending. And if you're a real estate agent like us, looking for a great mortgage lender, call our friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. Two things we always like to leave you with. Number one, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And number two, with God, all things are possible. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.